Can you hear me okay?
You're not going to need it there, don't worry.
Great. You're having a ball of a morning.
We do voiceover.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a voice session. It's not a suit.
I know. It's that limerick.
Is it the limerick? You'll have a Cork one soon.
Yeah, I should know.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, great. Siobhan, thanks very much for joining us this morning. Siobhan's here from Musgrave, Ireland, as head of customer experience. Siobhan, thanks for a great engaging presentation. We have a couple of questions that we'd love you to expand on. You spoke a little bit about how important C-suite engagement is. In your experience through the organisations you've worked with, how critical is that for a successful CX programme?
100%. So for me, if you don't have C-suite engagement, your program will probably last a short while, but won't last or give any longevity to the customer centricity transformation program that you're embarking on. So it's really important to have, if not the CEO, some people on his or her management team really buying into the program and passionately talking about it and representing it at every angle. And sometimes that will happen naturally. Some people have religion and they really believe in CX and really believe in doing stuff right for the customer, which is fantastic. If that doesn't happen, you're going to have to engineer it yourself, and really that's through bringing proof points to the CEO or the management team on why this is important, focusing on maybe some burning platform that the business has, such as churn or cost or something that's happening competitively in the market, and really convincing your C-suite that this is the right thing to do for the long-term profitability of the company.
Great, thanks a million. And on the other side of that then, employee engagement. So I know we'll speak in a moment about those 8 deadly sins of customer experience strategy, but when you look at the employee element of it, how important is that both to the delivery of a strategy, but also the culture that surrounds any strategy you're going to roll out?
It's really fundamental, because at the end of the day, you know, if you look at this from a common sense approach, everyone or everything that's going to be happening to the customer in terms of the experience is delivered by people. Even if it's technology, it's the people that are delivering the technology, creating the strategy and putting the budget in place. So employee engagement is hugely important. And I look at it a real common sense perspective. So for example, if the alarm clock goes off in the morning and somebody is not happy going into work, how are they going to be really motivated to do the best for the consumer, the customer in the first place? So employee engagement, fundamental. You need to ensure that your employees are not just happy, but also engaged. And then from there, with your kind of proper customer-centric structure, you'll get much better results.
Great. And during the presentation, you spoke a little about...
Edit all this out, yeah.
You spoke a little about the 3 E's.
Yeah.
Could you share with us what they are and a little bit of insight around how they're important?
Absolutely. So the 3 E's for me came about as actually a Forrester model, and it's how consumers relate to experiences and how they judge experiences. And they judge it on 3 levels. The first one, and the first E, is effectiveness. So how effective are you at delivering their need and what their need is? You know, their mission, their shopper mission, or whatever it is. And that will come down to a lot of table stakes things like price, quality, all the rest of that stuff. The second E is ease. So how easy was the experience for them? And again, really fundamental, and something that's been looked at a lot in CX for the last probably 5 or 6 years, and most companies would have some sort of easy program. So again, very, very important, and we need to keep asking ourselves, how can we make this even easier for the consumer? And then finally, the last one, which is probably the most important, is emotion. So about 50% of customers' experience, or how they judge an experience, is based on emotion and their emotion. So with all of the experiences we're creating, how are we building in emotion into that experience? And emotion can be both positive, but it can also be negative emotion. You know, so how are we trying to avoid the negative emotion that experience could be providing?
Great. And then lastly, I think one of the biggest takeaways we got from today was your 8 deadly sins of customer experience strategy. While there's a number of them, could you share with us maybe your most important, all 8 if you can, but even what are the key takeaways for any CX professional setting out on their journey, their lonesome journey of customer experience and customer centricity?
Okay, so I suppose through the last 12 years of kind of concentrating on CX and CX strategy and building CX programs, I've learned through failures and also through successes that there's 8 areas that need to be focused on to really make programs work. So the first one we discussed a little bit earlier was about senior management buy-in. You know, without that, your program program probably won't go very far. The second one is really about burning platforms. And this is about, is there anything within the business that's key to the business future, sustainability, profitability, etc., that we can use and integrate into the customer experience program? The third area is all about monetization of NPS or whatever your CX score is. So what are the results if you move your NPS score up? What was that going to do to your company's bottom line? So it's really important both from a revenue and a cost perspective to be very, very clear on the cause and effect of the CX program. The fourth one for me then is all around not getting too obsessed with that metric as well. So it's a bit contradictory, but the more obsessed you get with the metric, the more people will actually just try to move the number rather than change the experience for the customer. So that's been a key learning for me. The fifth one, and not in any particular order, is there is no holy grail in this. This is hard yards. It's a lot of work, and you need to approach it from a lot of different areas. So whilst we all want and look for that silver bullet continually, a lot of the time it's not actually there. The fifth area is about quick wins. So this is going to be a long-term program. So concentrate on a couple of projects that will give you quick wins within kind of 3 to 4 months, and then talk about them and really make that story come alive, not through just statistics, but through videos and different inventive communications you can use throughout the business. The sixth area is about empire building. A lot of people make the mistake that they need huge CX teams, and whilst you need a core team and a specialist and experienced team, this is really about getting the rest of the business to become customer centric. And if you create a huge big team, the business will point towards your team and saying you're responsible for the customer experience, but really it's the whole business that's responsible for the customer experience. And finally, the last one is all about, I suppose, yourself and your own motivations. And sometimes you're in the thick of this and you've been doing it for years and it's hard to see, are you actually moving the dial at all? But a kind of a key piece of advice that I got once and I thought was really good was, if you want to see what progress you're making, actually look back and see where you started and where you came from, and from there, hopefully you get a bit of motivation and encouragement to keep on going.
Great, Siobhan, thank you so much for your insights and your time today. Really appreciate it, and have a good rest of your day.
Great, thank you. Thanks.
Flawless. My God.